All righty, folks. Every Tuesday, we get the honor of speaking with a top 1% agent in the country, the one and only Beth Traverso. How you doing, Beth?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks so much for having me back here. It's always a highlight of my week, and thank you.
Absolutely. I don't know if you've seen it, but I published the current draft agenda for our event in February.
I heard that this morning. So I always listen to the morning financial news, the daily financial news when I'm on my morning rounds. And I heard that and I was like, oh, great.
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
oh,
You're
and then I was like,
speaking
oh,
day
I'm
one.
following Adrian Hernandez. How am I going to do that? But that's good. He'll get people jazzed up post lunch, so I'm happy about that. And Adrian, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, going to be a great event. I appreciate you flying out. Your
Mhm.
husband's coming, so we get to meet him as well. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be there too. So he and Olivia can chat,
That's right. They can chat in the back.
We'll have to get the spouses together too. So that's cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to talk about the real estate market because I don't know if you've heard, but interest rates are 8% for a lot of buyers now. And I'm going to guess that 8% is just like 6% back in August, and the world has stopped. Nobody is buying. We should just shut the doors and wait for rates to fall. Is that what's going on?
I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but that is not what I'm seeing, at least so far. It's really different because like we had chat about back in the summer of 2022 when rates started skyrocketing was like hitting a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. There was panic in the streets almost, it felt like. And people were sellers and buyers were extremely there's a lot of anxiety out there. People feeling urgency, tremendous urgency. We got to do something now, or we've missed the boat. It's already too late. We're not going to buy a house. We're not going to sell, whatever it is. Their plans stopped. People waiting, people wanting to know, is the bottom going to fall out? And that's was probably the biggest thing, was nobody wanted to buy if they thought the bottom was going to fall out, even if they still could afford it at the higher rates. And then we saw that when it hit 7, it did slow things down a bit and people were waiting. But the chatter I was hearing at that time was about rates are going to come down. If we just hang around a little while, rates are going to come down. How many times did we hear that?
Yeah, buy the house, date the rate.
Months, and they marry the house, date the rate. I haven't heard that much in a while. It was popular for a long time. It's catchy, but there's some flaws with that. There's some truth to it. I think if it's comfortable for you at a higher rate and you can afford it and the numbers work for your budget or your investing plans, then do it. But if they don't do it. Waiting for something that we have no control over in the future happening. So, but now it's been you know more than me how long, it's better than I do how long it's been. It's been over a year. It's been quite some time since we've had these higher interest rates. So
yeah, I think it's really weird that you bring, because again, I didn't know where this conversation was going, because I remember our conversations when we hit 6 the first time. Michael, nobody's going to open houses. Michael, sellers are actively talking about large price reductions. There was fear on both sides.
Yeah.
Fast forward, rates go up, they come down. The market kind of heals itself. The market goes past 6%, doesn't skip a beat the second time. We hit 7%, the market slows down again. But unlike 6, where there was fear of the bottom falling out, 7 was more like that hurts. It didn't stop. It didn't stop. It paused. We hit 7. We come all the way down to 599 again. Market gets nuts again.
It did.
We raced past 6. Now we race past 7. Now for a lot of people, they're in 8. So what I think is happening is the consumer is getting used to higher rates.
They're acclimated to it at this point. Yeah. And nobody here that I'm seeing that's looking to buy now is expecting rates to drop in any significant way. They've accepted that we're not going to be at 3, 4, 5, probably even
it's gone.
Maybe not even 6 for quite some time.
Not a consideration. Exactly.
Yeah. Life has gone on. These buyers weren't shopping back then. So it's just kind of people forget quickly. Or if they weren't shopping most people do house shopping for a specific set period of time. It might be, I don't know what it is on average. I would guess probably around 3 months or so, more or less. and depending on the person, but they're only paying attention during that time. You know, I'm obsessed, you're obsessed, other people in our community are obsessed, but other people don't dwell on it. They just think about it when they're in the decision making mode. And rates have been high since they've been looking, and the consensus seems to be at this point that it's not going to be coming down in the immediate future. So I remember for a long time, people thought that by the middle of this year, rates would come down, or maybe by the end of this year. Well, maybe it's always next quarter or 6 months from now, or, you know, then maybe it will. And honestly, I don't think anybody really knows, but it's not going to be right away. I think we're pretty certain about that.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you. Yeah, I really do think it's the psychology, right? Because when we went from, let's call it 3 to 6 the first time, that was a doubling. That hurt. That stopped everything. Then we go from 6 down to a little bit to 7. That's only 12%. 7
Right.
versus 6 is 12%.
Mm-hmm.
You go from 7 to 8, that's like, I don't know, 9%, 11, whatever. It's just the incremental up is not as much.
Good point. Yeah.
So
it's true.
I think that's what's happening. I think, again, this is not equal everywhere.
No.
I'm still seeing luxury most impacted in my market, like the data that I see in Fresno, California, and now I'm starting to poke around Vegas. The luxury market is still stacking up, and there's still opportunity. But darn, if you're a first time or entry level homes and it's move-in ready, it's like,
yeah,
still got bidding wars. I mean, it's like,
I know.
wild.
And so I have some clients looking in Seattle that we've been encountering bidding wars, and they're at a little over the median. Actually, for Seattle median, they're a decent bit over the median. But it's even on houses, sometimes we're seeing that have been on the market for months, all of a sudden they're getting multiple offers and selling for over list. That doesn't seem like that should be happening, but it is happening in some cases. And we're seeing very little coming on the market to replace it. So we're finding maybe 1 or 2 houses to see a week. Yeah. It's not very many. And so we've got qualified buyers out there. They've got the money. It's not an affordability issue for them. They can afford this rate with this payment. And they're competing, and they're starting to get more aggressive with their competition. So I'm looking for that.
This is wild.
And even the ones that shouldn't be that competitive, that have been on the market 60 days, 90 days, the ones that started out too high, sometimes those are starting to even get bidding wars too. So
this is a supply problem. It's a
supply, definitely supply. That's been the story of all of 2023, you know, and as I look back years from now, I'm sure I'll be thinking about this time period was the time when Fed broke housing, and the supply and demand both were constrained, where it was just almost like a locked market for a while. And I don't think that's going to be changing. We're not seeing a lot. I do know for myself personally, I'm working with more sellers now than I have probably since springtime, which is great. Yeah. I'm working with those folks that are getting ready to list their house now, and most of them want to be sold by the end of the year. And so we're working on that. So that's good. I'm doing my part to bring a little bit of supply to the market, and I think they'll do really well, you know, but what I'm telling them is that sometimes it's a bit of an undecided market. I've had seen some listings and had some where I thought maybe it might sell a little more quickly, or maybe get more than one offer, and it just doesn't happen for whatever reason. Yeah. And then they do end up selling a little bit later, but you know, we could see like, okay, well, this one down the road had 3 offers and sold for over list price 3 weeks ago. Right. Let's do this, and maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have a similar result, and then we don't get multiple offers, and then we just shift strategies and continue, get it sold. And then others are getting multiple offers. So, and then interestingly, the Airbnb type listings seem to be getting, I have one up in the mountains that's gotten tons of showings, and everybody asking about Airbnb. So there's Airbnb buyers are out there. I probably had 50 Airbnb buyers come look at this little cabin. No way.
I thought Airbnb was a bust.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But funny thing is, like, they didn't pull the trigger. So I think they're very cautious right now.
Well, that's good.
You know, we want them to be cautious, right? People got a little too out of line with the speculation. Anytime you go into speculation, it's dangerous territory. So
Beth, I don't know if you've heard this, but real estate investing is never easy. And I
yes,
think there's a lot of people that thought it was easy the last couple of years. So
got a little too easy, maybe for too many for a while, and inevitably a pullback happened, and that needed to happen.
yeah.
But I thought it was interesting how many are still out there shopping for Airbnb.
So again, you had a little cabin. I mean, we're talking what, 800 square feet, or what are we talking?
yeah, about thereabouts. Yeah.
About 800 square, and you had 50 potential Airbnb hosts go, maybe
Mhm.
this is us.
Yeah, but they're still contemplating and still kind of
So no
maybe
offers.
circling around. No, but I've been getting, well, actually we did get one today, and there's this any number of people just circling around and asking questions, asking. So it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out. But I like the variety and the fact that things are never the same, because I don't like to get complacent. You got to be ready to shift and move and adapt, and that's always what it's like in the real estate business. And that's one of the things I like about it.
Yeah, I think the next 4 to 12 to 18 months is going to be a proving time for a lot of people. We're going to make that topic number 2.
Yeah.
But before we go there, where can people find Beth Traverso? And most importantly, get a reference to a top 1% agent around the country, because
Yeah, so
birds of a feather flock together.
yes, thank you. I've been a bit of a matchmaker lately, and it's fun connecting people with other great agents in my network. And so I can be found at BethTraversoGroup.com, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram and message me there, and happy to chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.